Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the start of NFL Week 11 and welcome to the first ever live episode of the Sports Syndicate podcast. We've got a ton of stuff lined up for you. I'm here with my boy Nick. We are ready to go. Let's just kick this thing off and have a ball.
I'm Malshon, the same day they signed Tory. The Smith beside me, yes. My wrist shine, yes. At all times, catch all signs. Shots fly, no Anakin. Olive Garden, rapid tower fit inside ramekin. Fucking breadcrumbs, turn breadsticks when that text spit. Cause that marinara is so cute. Safety off, you ain't Joku.
And we're back like that. What's going on, Nick? How you doing, my man?
Good, man. Good. Happy to be back, and this is awesome doing it live. A lot to talk about last week, and obviously this week too.
Oh, a ton, an absolute ton, and something that I didn't get a chance to bring up before the show, but just happened on my way home was apparently now there are scattered reports from Antonio Brown's personal chef that he attempted or tried to purchase a fake vaccination card from his personal chef.
Oh shit! This is breaking news to me too.
Yeah. Like literally, I was walking back to set up this show, and I got a notification on it and checked ESPN, Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
Like it just ended up all over the place prior to this. And according to the reports, Brown got the Johnson & Johnson shot when it was first available, but didn't get a card. I don't know if that's how it works with Johnson & Johnson. I'm not familiar myself. I got the Pfizer, so my card's in my truck. So there's that, but I don't know how that works. But apparently he tried to purchase one from his chef so that he could continue to work and operate as a vaccinated player under protocol in the NFL. And I don't know where this is going, but it's at least shocking. I know I shocked Nick with it, but I'm gonna pass it to one of Jersey's finest here and just let him weigh in. Now that you've heard it, what are your immediate thoughts on the situation with Brown and this vaccination card?
Yeah, and you say it, every episode so far. We don't want to, this is not about politics; it's about football. But sometimes they intertwine, and comes this, and it's just odd. It's just odd that somebody that makes that much money, it's not even about money. If you got the vaccination, go to your local doctor, go to someone, go to the hospital that you got the vaccine and say, I lost my card. Don't do this because anyone that wants to get ahead of, somebody like the chef, that's not the person you go to. So it's just odd. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it baffles me too. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the NFL's, list is for vaccinations. I don't even know if they count Johnson & Johnson. So what would they do? Would they make him get the shot again? Could they prove that he didn't get it? Like the whole situation is just mind blowing. Like, especially this deep into the year, and we haven't heard anything on it yet. And all of a sudden, Brown's been banged up a little bit, been out for a while, and now this.
Yeah.
But if it's anything like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they'll just find him the equivalent of a quarter and move on with life.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
It was just something that caught my eye right before the show. And I thought, man, seriously, like what?
Yeah.
What the hell would compel you to just make up the fact that you got vaccinated or try to get a fake vaccination card?
Yeah.
Well, not the worst thing that Antonio Brown's done the past couple of years, by the way.
No. I guess we need to know the facts, too. Does he have the vaccination? Because if he doesn't, that's kind of messed up, But if he does, and it's like, well, just go to your local, like I said, hospital, local doctor, your primary doctor, and, say, I have it. I lost my card. I mean, how many Americans do that? It happens.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens to all of us, especially if you're a guy like, if you're an NFL player, you're going city to city, 8 weeks a year, you're practicing, you're here or there, you're everywhere. So if you did just lose it, nobody's really going to knock you for it. So I just don't get the whole let's get a fake one from somebody. Like, was he just going to take his chefs? Like, is the chef running some kind of some kind of vaccination card ring that we don't know about. Like, this is going to be crazy to see play out. So I had to jump on that. And even though we talked about it a couple of times in the show already, it is now official. John Gruden is suing the NFL.
Yeah.
He's suing them because he felt like he was forced to resign.
No.
I don't want to take too much time on this. These are just quick hits to, start the show. But as far as I'm concerned, my stance has not changed on it, and nobody forced you to do anything. You did that to yourself, Chucky.
Exactly.
You got anything to add on that one, Nick?
Yeah, no. Right on. I mean, you did it yourself. You wrote those emails. You said those sick things. Screw you. You don't have a fight in this, You don't have a fight in this. It just doesn't make sense. Just, you got your money. Go home and just get out of the spotlight. Just go home and just, be better.
Right.
Do better,
Is it just me, or does it just start feeling like that douchebag cheating husband that keeps coming back saying, oh, well, it wasn't me. We can work this out. It's like, nah, dude, you did it. We know you did it. Just go away.
Yeah.
Like, you're done. You had your chance. You fucking blew it. You're done. That's Chucky right now.
Yeah. And, this is, kind of what we see often nowadays. Somebody gets screwed and they want revenge, so they go after, the NFL, somebody big like that. It's stupid. Go on, get on with your life and just, like I said earlier, just be better. Do better.
If you can hear, because I don't know how well my sound deadening's working.
I heard
if you can hear that train in the background, that train was your last chance in the NFL, and it just passed. It's gone. Goodbye.
Yep. See ya.
And I have no sympathy for the guy because he did it to himself. We've all, if you followed the story, the emails, you know what he said, you know what he did. Did somebody put him up to this? Did somebody, think this would be a cool prank? Like, no, it was all you from the jump. And so, I hope he loses. I hope he has to give back the money. I hope some judge says, you know what? Fuck you, dude. You wasted my time. You got to give the NFL back their money.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle without your $100 million. Give it back. But I guess I should move on to something we actually planned for the show. And since we are live for the first time on a Thursday night, and the Thursday game is rapidly approaching, we're going to pick that first. Then we're going to jump into something else. Then we're going to come back. We're going to pick the rest of these games. So tonight, we have the New England Patriots riding a 4-game winning streak. And looking damn good, to be honest, going into Atlanta for that Super Bowl rematch, which if you're a Falcons fan, you're still trying to forget.
Yeah.
Against a struggling Atlanta Falcons team that may be without Cordero, that will probably be without Cordero Patterson tonight. He's a game time decision. And so now the question becomes, does Atlanta have enough to stop New England's streak, or does New England just roll right over them and keep going?
Yeah. And you would have to go back to the few games that the Patriots played during this winning streak. And you have to look at the points, and you got to look how they scored the points. And let's just take last week's game, 45-7, the Browns. Like, the Browns are a good team, regardless of Chubb, regardless of, what's his name? What's the other guy? Not Chubb.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Yeah. Regardless of those two stacked running backs that are really, really good, they put up 45 points. And you also got to look at it this way. Like, why? Why is this happening? You look at Bill Belichick. That makes sense. Check that off.
Yeah,
you look at Matt Jones. He's a stud. Yeah, he's a rookie, but he's a stud. You check that off. And everybody steps up on this team. Who was the running back? I don't even know. I think it's Stevenson.
Oh, it was,
right? Don't even try. Yeah,
that was going to be my thing because I'm a Cordero Patterson owner in fantasy myself, so I went and I actually got Ramondre Stevenson.
So did I.
To fill in for him, because he has been the Patriots have some injuries at running back themselves, with Damian Harris being out, and even Bolden might not play this week. So he's going to get the brunt of the carries. He's produced. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a key cog in that Patriots offense the last few weeks, and he's looked good. So you still have time if you're watching this live and you haven't, please go and let people and pick this guy up off waivers if he's there.
Yeah.
Especially if you have Cordero Patterson, because we still don't know at this point. Like,
yeah,
we're live and we don't know.
Yeah, but like I was saying, that the Patriots, like everybody steps up. That's just what you do, you know. That's what makes them a championship team, championship caliber team. That's what makes them a dynasty. Even without Tom Brady, they're doing pretty well. So yeah, last year was tough. They saw, you know, their legend, their Hall of Famer, their quarterback. That's my quarterback. They saw Tom Brady get to the Super Bowl and win it with the Bucs. And like I said, Patriots is all about stepping up. It doesn't matter if you're the first, third, second string. You step up, and I'm just loving it. I'm just loving it.
I mean, you know, they've gotten rid of a lot of guys, including Stephon Gilmore this year, and their defense is still damn good. They started out a little rough, but these last 4 games they've looked much better. Mac Jones now has more wins as a rookie quarterback than the rest of the rookie quarterbacks starting in the league combined.
Yeah.
Like, Mac Jones, 6 wins. Every other rookie quarterback that started this year, 5-24. So obviously he's on a decent team, and he's showing that he, you know, can clearly produce, and things look good for them. So it's hard for me to pick against the Patriots right now. I mean, I know short week and all that, but Atlanta seems to be more banged up than New England. And
they only scored 3 points last week.
They certainly didn't look so good against the Cowboys last week. I mean, God damn.
Yeah, that was just bad overall. That's a team that doesn't step up. You know, that's like the opposite of the Patriots. It's just they did really well 2 weeks ago, but then this week they come in. I think they scored like 30 points. I don't know exactly, but they only scored 3 this last week, and it's just, I guess that 5
I think
the
week before against New Orleans, they had I think it was 27 points, and then they managed 3 against Dallas.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately it happens with them because there are a lot of games where Matt Ryan gets locked in on Kyle Pitts. And you know, you don't really blame him right now because you got Calvin Ridley dealing with mental issues. Cordero Patterson's been banged up. You know, their receiving core has been thin. Their running game hasn't really worked outside of Patterson. You know, Mike Davis he was great in Carolina, but not in Atlanta. I think he's averaging like 2.5 yards a carry.
Yep.
So he has to focus in on, you know, guys on a guy like Pitts, who was his best target. But then you take that away, and they got nothing.
Nothing. Seriously. I mean, Matt Ryan shows that he's, you know, a great quarterback, but you need weapons. You know, as much as, you know, Tom Brady is Tom Brady, he needs his weapons. He needs Mike Evans. He needs the tight end Gronk. He needs the weapons, and he doesn't have them. So it's tough to watch. And I think you froze.
Hey, sorry about that. You gotta love technology.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're dropping off screen there, guys. So you were saying, as much as Tom Brady needs his weapons,
you need weapons. If you're an elite quarterback, it doesn't matter how elite you are. You need your weapons. So it's just tough to watch.
Yeah,
stepping up like Mike Davis, like you said, he looked great when he was with Carolina. It's just, I don't know, something's not there. Something that team just does not look like an NFL team, and it's bad.
Oh yeah, I just got notified that Patterson's ruled out. So
okay,
yeah, you better have gotten Stevenson at this point.
Yeah,
thank God he's on my bench.
What about Harris? He's out too.
Harris is out as well. Yeah.
Okay, so he's getting the ball.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's going to have to get the carries because 2 of their backs probably aren't playing in this game. So I'm with you, though. Atlanta just seems incomplete, and New England is hot, which is bad news for the Falcons. So I'm gonna take the Patriots in this one, and I think you're leaning that way too. So I'm gonna say Patriots win 31-10.
Okay. I got 27-13. Let's give him something. Let's give him at least 1 touchdown.
Okay. Hey, it could happen. Yeah. You never know. I mean, it's hard to see Atlanta win in this game. That just flat out. I mean, it won't be as much. Although there have been a few upsets this year. Like even last week, there were a couple of games you thought, what the fuck? But I don't see this being one of them. Now the next game is another playoff rematch that I don't know. I'm kind of smelling upset, but I don't know if I'm believing it. It's where the Indianapolis Colts are headed to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and that insanely talented Bills team.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know the Colts have been hot. They've been playing better late, as of late. Buffalo is obviously stacked, and they've had their moments like that loss in Jacksonville, which they bounced back from in a big way. So I'm going to let Nick go first on this one. Who do you see? We'll do this and then we'll jump back. Who do you see winning this one? The Bills or the Colts? I
got the Bills. I mean, they haven't been playing sound football, but they've been playing football, good football that can still win the game. Yeah, they've lost a few that they shouldn't have lost, like that happens. But the Bills are a better team, and I really think Carson Wentz is that thorn in the side of the Colts. I just don't know if he can get it done. And I know, I'm an Eagles fan, 2017. We can talk about this all night. But
I got that Super Bowl hat right here.
I will forever be grateful for Carson Wentz, but I just don't know if he's a quarterback that can play in the NFL. So I think, he cost him a few games this year already. I got the Bills here. I just think Josh Allen is a more complete quarterback, and their offense and defense are decent. They're not the defense from a few years ago, but they're still, like I said, sound football. They all play. They all step up. I think that's the key word this week. Step up.
Before we finish this one off and jump into the playoff picture, give me a score because I'm going to take the same. I got the Bills winning this.
I think it's going to be competitive, so I'll go 31-27.
Okay. Yeah, I think this will be an interesting game. And if the Colts somehow manage to pull an upset, I would not be surprised. Because I'm not as far off the Carson Wentz bandwagon as you are. I think that's been proven if you watch this show. And their defense has improved. Jonathan Taylor has gotten into a groove. And Buffalo's defense is great, but if there's anything they've struggled at, it's stopping the run on occasion. It kind of cost them the game against the Jags. It cost them against Derrick Henry and the Titans. And so if the Colts manage to squeak out a win, I wouldn't be completely surprised, but I'm leaning towards Buffalo in this one in a close game, like you had said. I'm going to say 28-24 Bills. And we're going to stop the picks right there because I was supposed to stop them already. Sorry, folks. And we're going to go jump into a topic now that we've gotten the Thursday game out of the way and an extra one for extra credit I get. Let's jump into the current playoff picture for both conferences. And we're going to start with the AFC, where the Titans right now are on top by themselves at 8-2. The Bills that we just discussed are second. Then Baltimore is at 3. Kansas City has jumped all the way to number 4 on a bit of a winning streak themselves. Pittsburgh sitting at the 5 seed. New England's currently 6th because they're not a division leader. The 7th and final spot goes to the Chargers at 5-4.
Yeah.
Now behind them, you have the Raiders and Bengals at 5-4 apiece. Then you have at least 3 5-5 teams between the Colts, Browns, and Broncos. So while the top is like, okay, the Titans are there, and then there's everybody else. Once you get past Tennessee, there's maybe 2 games separating every one of these teams.
Yeah,
every one. I mean, I don't know how they count Pittsburgh since they were the first team that the Lions didn't lose to, but it put them over New England with one more win. So I guess that helps. I don't know. But looking at the bottom, like I said, right now the Chargers are holding the 7th spot. There are currently 5 teams behind them: the Raiders, the Bengals, the Colts, the Browns, and the Broncos. Do you think any of these teams could actually catch or pass the Los Angeles Chargers for that 7th spot?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you look at Denver, I don't think so. I really don't.
Really.
I mean, they can play some competitive football, but it's not, playoff football. So no. So number 12, Denver, I don't see. Cleveland, it's a mix. It's, they play well, they run the ball well. When Baker's hot, he's really hot, and he looks like an MVP competitor, NFL player. When he's on, he's on. Again, I just don't know. Las Vegas looks good too, but there you go. Again, I don't know. Cincy, no way. I just don't see it. I mean, they don't have the pieces. They have a good team. They have a quarterback, a quarterback that can be elite when he needs to be, but it's just not – they're not ready yet. They're still building, so –
Right.
If anyone, and I know I just bashed Indy for this, for not having a sound football team, but out of any, those 5 teams, I think Indy has a chance just because they're coached well and Carson's been there before. I mean, he's still going to cost them the game. I still believe in that. I'm not going to, go back on my word. I don't think he can, win the Super Bowl. I think they can, be competitive in a playoff run, but I don't see them winning the Super Bowl this year. So,
right.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. And I kind of agree with you on the Colts. I would say out of the 5 teams, I think maybe the Colts and Bengals have the best chance to get up into the final playoff spot.
Yeah.
I'm picking 2 teams because when I look at a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I see them, starting Mason Rudolph and almost losing to the Lions, and he's going to start again. When I see the way Ben has struggled, the offensive line has struggled. Now TJ Watt is hurt again. They lost Chase Claypool in their last game. We don't know we're not exactly sure for how long.
Yeah.
I could see them slowly backing out of the playoffs just due to lack of talent.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they were, even though they've won a few games in a row,
yeah,
it just feels like they don't have enough to hold that position, especially in that division, which is always tough. And again, it's tough this year. Like the Ravens are ahead of them, the Bengals are right behind them, the Browns are right there, and they still have a few division games left. I feel like they're going to get lost in the shuffle. So I feel like a team like the Colts and maybe even a team like the Bengals, because if they can stop the turnovers from Joe Burrow, they've got a solid shot. Joe Mixon has been healthy this year. He's had an incredible season.
For once,
They've got a young receiving core that is very dangerous, and their defense has played a whole lot better than it's played the last few years.
Oh, yeah.
If they can stop Joe Burrow from turning the football over as consistently as he's been since that Bears game where he got destroyed, I think they could make a playoff push. And I think they could push themselves past the Steelers by the end of the season. So I took 2 teams there because I saw maybe there's a team falling out. Maybe the Chargers come up. Maybe we get some. But, as far as the rest of them, I mean, the Broncos and Browns, they're Jekyll and Hyde. One week they're beating somebody down, and then the next week they're taking a beating. The Raiders, we talked about it last week. They've been on a roller coaster all year long.
Yeah.
They've had issue after issue after issue, and I think it's finally catching up with them.
Yeah.
They had a bad loss against the Giants, and they followed it up by basically letting Patrick Mahomes look like Pat Mahomes for the first fucking time all year.
Yeah.
So
I think they had a lot of turnovers too. That does not help.
They did. I mean, Deshaun Jackson made a big play, fumbled.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Carr had a couple of interceptions. They couldn't run the ball. But, this happened in New York, too. So it's one thing against Kansas City. But when you do it against the Giants, too, now it's a pattern.
Yeah.
And that pattern could mean now it's your ass,
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, I mean, as much as, football's played on the field, there's a lot of things that go into that. Their coach being fired, what happened with the wide receiver, Henry. It's just a lot that goes into the locker room. And then
not a week after Henry Ruggs, you had the whole Desmond Arnett video with the gun, and they cut him too. So it's like just distractions, taking more and more guys off the team. It's just a lot to play through, and I think it's finally caught up to them. So it would not surprise me if their season just keeps going downhill from here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Pepsi Phil. Good stuff, guys. We appreciate you, man. It's always good to see the king of the comments in the building.
There he is.
That's my guy right there. All right, so that's the AFC picture. And then go back to the NFC.
This is going to be interesting.
This seems to be a log jam from top to bottom.
Yeah.
It's like nobody wants to take that number one spot because the Cardinals had it. They lost it to Aaron Rodgers when he didn't have a damn soul to throw to. Yeah. Then they came out, beat down the 49ers with backups, took that spot back. Then they come out this week, lay an egg against Carolina. And now they've dropped to the second seed, and Green Bay is back up on top. They're both 8-2.
Yeah.
Behind them are the Cowboys at 7-2. Then the Bucks at 6-3. And God, have they looked awful the past few weeks? I mean, the loss to the team, the Washington football team, and then the game against the Saints with Trevor Siemian, and you're just thinking, what the fuck is going on? But if that's not bad enough, the Rams have dropped all the way to 5th because they've lost 2 in a row, and Matthew Stafford is turning the ball over left, right, and center, so they're down to the 5th seed. The Saints are clinging to 6th at 5-4, even though they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And the Carolina Panthers, who have now won 2 in a row, have jumped into the final spot at 5-5.
Yeah.
After that, you have the Vikings and 49ers and Falcons at 4-5. And of course, our team, the Philadelphia Eagles, at 4-6.
Yeah.
So this is a lot to unpack here, but let's try a little bit. First of all, let's start at the top. Who do you think has enough to end up in the top seed, to end up with a first round bye and a number one seed in the NFC when all is said and done? Because you got at least 3 teams between the Packers, Cardinals, and Cowboys, like right there at the top. Which one of those 3 teams do you see being number one by the end of the year?
Absolutely, 110% the Green Bay Packers. Every team has a bad game. Every team has a couple bad games. I mean, there's 17 games, this year. It's different. So you can lose another one and be okay. But they're what? 8-2. Rodgers had 2 bad games. Those 2 bad games, those 2 L's were because of Rodgers. Let's circle back. What is it all about? Elite quarterbacks. He is an elite quarterback. He's going to take them, and I even think, to the Super Bowl, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Week 1, I cannot blame – I blame Aaron Rodgers for it. He came out and laid an egg. But that second loss, he wasn't even in. He had COVID. Jordan Love was playing,
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You can't blame him for COVID. Maybe you blame him for saying he was vaccinated when he wasn't, but you can't blame him for that COVID.
There you go.
That's like blaming me for being gone for 3 weeks. I couldn't help it. I was sick.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I did not remember correctly. But, yeah, one game they lost was because of Rodgers. The other game, Love. I mean, they're the best team. They're the best team in the NFC.
But, I'm looking at it, and it's like, now the Packers have Aaron Jones with the MCL sprain, and he might miss a week or 2. And I don't even know if that slows him down because A.J. Dillon is a pretty damn good back. There's another guy I hope you handcuffed in fantasy because if you had Aaron Jones, you can plug A.J. Dillon right in, and he's probably going to give you just as much. So, I mean, he's a big dude. He's powerful, but he can catch the ball. Obviously, we saw like a 60-some yard reception against the Seahawks last week. So he does a lot of what Aaron Jones does, but he brings something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that the Packers are going to need as we get into like these winter months and these home games at Lambeau. You need like that power runner that's going to get you 4 or 5 yards in a first down or punch one in the goal line when conditions aren't so great. They weren't even that great last week. It was fucking snowing in Lambeau.
Yeah.
So they're definitely my favorite too to take that top spot. Their defense has been playing a lot better lately too, which is if you're another NFC team and you're looking at the Packers and you're watching them pitch a shutout against Seattle after they held the Chiefs to 13 points, you're thinking, oh shit, we're next.
Yeah.
If that defense gets on track the way it's been, and you still have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, all that, I mean, I hate to keep agreeing, but I kind of see them holding that top spot. I I still don't put it past the Bucks because the Bucks kind of started out rough with a few losses, but they finished strong. They ended up in the top seed, and we all know what happened there. Yeah. So they would be like my 1B. Like if the Packers don't take it, you can't deny Brady. Like you always bet on Brady just as like a side bet at best. Yeah. Just, you know what? Okay, yeah, like put most of it on Rodgers, but you know what? Let me throw a little bit over here on Tom while I'm at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that in the Rams too, again.
And then, I look at the bottom of this division, man, and I gotta tell you, like, yeah, the first 5 seeds, you could see them kind of righting the ship. I mean, I guess the Cowboys don't really need to. They had one bad loss, and then they came and blew out the Falcons, so they're 7-2. But when, the Rams have lost a couple of straight, but you got to think that eventually they'll get it back together. OBJ barely being able to practice last week, and, Stafford with these turnovers. You got to think McVay will work that out too. So I could see them bouncing back and keeping their spot. New Orleans, man, when it was Jameis Winston and Alvin Kamara and all this, I thought, okay, you might have a shot. Watching this team with Trevor Siemian and no Alvin Kamara lately,
yeah,
I don't know. As close as this is, if you lose a few games, including the one you got coming up in Philadelphia, I mean, they're right on your heels, and they're riding a 2-game, and they're riding, and they've won 2 out of their last 3. So, they're getting stronger and healthier as you're kind of falling down a cliff here. And so I could see a team like that catching up and going in. The Panthers is interesting just because of the quarterback situation. You had Darnold, and obviously he got hurt, and maybe that worked, maybe it didn't. Jury's kind of out. But then you go out and you sign Cam Newton, and his first game back with little to no practice time, he comes up with 2 touchdowns, and you beat the Cardinals in Arizona, and had a win the week before. And with that defense, I'm not saying they're the same team, but with that defense, Carolina kind of reminds you of that team from like 2015 where Cam was the MVP and they had this great defense and they were able to make a push to the playoffs and get to a Super Bowl. I don't know if they're on that level this year, but you get flashbacks to it. Just thinking of the potential there with Cam Newton. And then you see that defense, and I've been saying they're good. They're very good.
Yeah.
Even with Gilmore being hurt last week, they were still very good. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go. But if I had to pick, one of these teams, it's going to make me sound like a homer. But if I had to pick one of these teams from, outside the playoff spot right now to make a run, I'm going with the Eagles. I'm sorry. Yeah. They finally took our advice. They finally ran the goddamn football. And since then, I think I even said it on one of our shows, if they kept that formula up, they were going to be in games. They got to win. Yeah. They lost to the Chargers by 3, and then they came out and they smoked the Broncos in Mile High. If they stick to this format, if they stick to this game plan, and they continue to pound the rock, especially with the news that Miles Sanders is being activated off the injured reserve, his 3-week window has now been popped wide open. So maybe this week, maybe next week, we don't know. But if they get Miles Sanders back into this running game, I don't know how they're going to be stopped.
Yeah.
I know there was a report saying that, Carolina might have the scariest run game in the NFL with Cam Newton at quarterback. And I could see that. But when you think about Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard and a guy like Boston Scott, and then Jalen Hurts on top of it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucking scary running attack.
It is.
And it's allowing Jalen Hurts opportunities to get guys like Devontae Smith involved. The guy's had 3 touchdown catches in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I could see the Eagles making it up there. I could see the Saints falling off. That's just maybe me, but that's why we have this tri-state twosome. So I'm going to go to Nicky over here and let him say his piece. Out of the teams at the bottom between the Vikings, the Niners, the Falcons, and the Eagles, who do you think has the best chance to jump one of these teams and make the playoffs by the end of the season?
Yeah. And I always go back to one thing, experience. And I just don't know if the Eagles have that. Obviously, there's a lot of rookies, even, head coach offensive coach.
There's a lot of youth.
Coordinator. Yeah. There's a lot of rookies, a lot of experience that, they still need to work on. It's just all about tenure with, football and being a coach. It's just, you got to know what to do. You do it for as long as, let's say, the guy who's the coach from, what the hell is his name? Whatever. But what I'm trying to say is you need experience. I do not think the Eagles, they are playing sound football, but they're not a team that it's tough. It really is, because the Cowboys aren't playing as well as they can. I mean, yes, they did well last week, but I don't know. I think, last year with the NFC East, that division, it was, a lot of teams that did not play well, and somebody got lucky. This year, I think the Cowboys are going to take that. But then again, there's 17 games, like I said earlier. So I just don't know. There are 11 teams here. So I don't know. The Rams seem like a team that, are going to, win the division. So I'm going to go with Minnesota, because experience, I think they have a lot of experience. Kirk Cousins still looks, as good as he did a couple years ago. So I got the Vikings.
Maybe better, honestly.
Yeah.
I could see, it makes total sense. I mean, if you're looking for a team that can make a push, you want experience on it, and Kirk Cousins has got it. Adam Thielen ain't no rookie, that's for sure. They got Dalvin Cook has been around for a minute.
Yeah.
They've got a seasoned head coaching, or they've got a seasoned head coaching staff. So
yeah.
If they could stop losing close games, they'd be in there. That's a fact. I mean,
that's the truth.
I don't blame you for that one. I went hometown bias all the way. I just looked up at the Super Bowl hat and thought, Eagles, we got this.
Yeah,
we're good.
But they do have a chance. I'm not going to say they don't.
Oh, no. They got a shot. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it is. I get what you're saying about the Eagles too, because a man of my age watching this team sometimes, when you see their age, you're like, at least me, I'm like, God damn, I could be your dad. This is fucking ridiculous. Like, like, do we have anybody fresh out of high school? Because that's about what some of these guys look like. But at the same time, they've got a veteran offensive line, and it's getting healthier, which I like. We may be getting Brandon Brooks back finally from his pec injury, so that would be cool. And that's only going to allow them to run the ball even better, which is, think about that for a minute. That's a scary thought. I mean, I had a stat on them since week 8. The Eagles have been averaging 33 points a game. Add another Pro Bowl lineman on that line with that rushing attack.
Yeah,
just makes it better. And it just makes things even easier for Jalen Hurts, which is like, okay. As much as I may not want us to go to the playoffs this year because maybe the draft pick would be better, or, maybe we could stock up, whatever, make a, pull that Russell Wilson trade that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks that makes me a little bit drool, a little bit. Sorry, guys. Every time. As much as I don't want to make the playoffs, I think they stand a chance. I think they stand a better chance than most of these teams. Maybe if the 49ers get on track, but like, they're Jekyll and Hyde too.
Yeah.
1 week they're getting beat by the backups from Arizona, and then the next week they're blowing the Rams out on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
put
figured?
Up 31 points.
Who the fuck figured?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we didn't. We both said like, oh, without Kyler or this and that, Niners. Nope. Yeah. And then the next week, oh, well, if they can't beat the backups, they're damn sure not going to beat the Rams. Guess what happened?
Yeah. Rams scored 10 points.
Any given Sunday, folks.
Yep.
All right. So glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
That was a fuck ton of fun. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out down the stretch here. Now we already picked 2 games. Let's get back to picks for week 11, shall we?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
The next one I've got on the rundown here is the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens going into Chicago to take on the Bears, who have now lost 3 straight. We said the last one was a little bit controversial, but they're in the midst of a skid. They're looking to bounce back. I think both these teams are coming off a bye, and amazingly, Chicago has actually lost 7 straight games following the bye week.
Yeah.
I got a feeling it's going to be 8. What do you think, Nikki?
Yeah, well, I think these teams are totally opposite. The Bears find a way to lose every game, or not every game, but most games. And the Ravens, they find ways to win games, with if it's athletic ability from the quarterback, or if it's the tight end or the wide receivers, doing they always find a way to win the game, even if it's close. So, yeah, I got the Ravens here, no doubt.
All right, give me a score because I'm going to pick them too.
Let's go with 31-10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if Khalil Mack will be back for this game. I haven't seen anything on it yet.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to something you were talking about when we were discussing the playoff picture. The difference between the Bears and the Ravens is experience. Lamar Jackson's been around for a minute now. Yeah. Justin Fields has not. John Harbaugh has been a head coach for a long time and won a Super Bowl. Matt Nagy has not.
Yeah.
As you go down the line, it's like you just look at the Ravens roster and you think experience. And then you go down the Bears roster and you're thinking, yeah, they're still kind of young too. Ooh, yeah, him too. Like, maybe they got Allen Robinson, maybe they got Khalil Mack, and then the rest is just a lot of youth. And I think that's the difference not only between these two teams, but in this game.
Yeah.
I did like what I saw to Justin Fields against Pittsburgh, so I'm not going to say that they get blown out, but I'm going to say Ravens hang on 24-20.
Okay.
It could be a close game. Yeah. Let's see if Justin Fields has learned from that fourth quarter in Pittsburgh and comes out in the first quarter, because then maybe it's an actual game. But if not, oh boy, it's going to get ugly. So the next game might not be so ugly, but it's definitely got some ugly teams. I mean, we've got the Jekyll and Hyde Cleveland Browns at home to play the still winless, but not total loser Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Coming off their tie against Pittsburgh, where nobody wanted to win that fucking game.
Yeah.
If you watch that game, it was miserable. You're like, oh shit, Lions are kicking a field goal. They're going to win. No, that 48-yarder is not even close. What the hell happened there?
Yeah.
Or, oh shit, Steelers are driving. Oh, he fumbled. Oh, he did it. Somebody else fumbled in overtime. Yeah. Oh, man.
It was entertaining for sure.
It was entertaining, but it was also kind of painstaking. Like,
it was,
win. Somebody just end it. And it never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, with the Lions, I just don't know if you can rally after a tie. I just don't know if that's enough juice to say, yeah, we got what it takes to play the Browns. And then opposite, the Browns got their ass handed to them last week. I think this is a game where they step up and say, we're the team to beat here. So I got the Browns.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a time for the Lions to actually, pull off a victory, it might be now, because we're not sure if Nick Chubb's going to be back. Kareem Hunt will not.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield is beat to all hell.
Yeah.
And you would think that bodes well for the Lions, but then when you look at them, now all of a sudden you got Jared Goff, who wasn't playing very well to begin with, dealing with an oblique injury, and they're not even sure he's going to make this game. And I'll be totally honest with you, I have no idea who the Lions' backup quarterback is. Their starter ain't that good. I'm supposed to know their backup?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a Lions fan, so I have no idea who's behind Jared Goff.
No.
And so immediately I go from maybe the Lions can pull this one out to
no.
Nah. Just
they can't.
Nah. I want to see him win a game, and it feels like this could be it, but
but you can't rally after a tie,
Well, if you ever saw the movie Necessary Roughness, they rallied from a tie. They didn't lose, and then all of a sudden they won a few games. They got their swag. Maybe maybe it'll be stuff that movies are made of. But as far as I'm concerned, nah. Just nah.
I think it happened in Lasso too. Ted Lasso.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched that. Yeah. But again, we're talking about 2 movies. This is reality.
This is scripted. I know we deal with a lot of pro wrestling stuff, but this is real deal, and scripted and reality is completely different.
Shit, where's Joe Flacco or not Flacco? What is his name from The Replacements?
Oh, Shane Falco.
Falco, yeah.
I love that fucking movie. I love that fucking movie. I love that we broke down into like football movie talk in the middle of this. It's great.
There's not much to talk about when it comes to the Lions. So,
well, I guess we can throw this in there, but I don't think it'll make much difference either. There's just a fun fact.
Yeah,
the Lions have actually won 4 straight games against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
that ends on Sunday, though. I got to be real with y'all. I don't think the Lions can do it. I'm gonna say, as beat up as they are, Cleveland's gonna manage to win this in an ugly game. Let's say 20-10.
Yeah. I got 23-3. I just don't even see them scoring a touchdown. Just because, like you said, is Goff going to play? I mean, they don't have the team, they don't have the tools. So Browns are going to come back, a little bit of an revenge game, and say, you know what? We got our asses whooped last week. That ain't happening again.
Yeah, they're very up and down. Like I said, they came off a beating of the Cincinnati Bengals, and then they themselves took a beating. So, I guess they're due to beat on somebody, and seems like everybody beats on the Lions, except the Steelers. Congratulations, Lions, for not losing. All right, so we go from a winless team to a team with 1 win in the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Going into Tennessee to play their former franchise, the Titans, who are at the top of the AFC right now. And not only that, they're in the midst of a 6-game winning streak, which is their longest streak since, I think 2008.
Yeah.
I'll let Nick weigh in on this first. Do you think the Texans have any chance of ending this 6-game streak?
No, not at all. The Titans are a really good team. Even if they don't have Henry, they still find ways to win games. Excuse me. I think Tannehill is a legit quarterback. I don't see it. I don't see how Houston can win with no playmakers. Can you name one other than Cooks? I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Tyrod Taylor come back, and he was definitely rusty.
Yeah, and we'll give him one game.
You couldn't really blame him for that because Russell Wilson came back and he looked rusty too.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even out as long as Tyrod Taylor. So, I mean, they do have a couple of guys, but that team.
Yeah. Even without Derrick Henry, there's no chance.
Yeah. I mean, then you look at the Titans and the running game hasn't been great. But Julio Jones went back on IR after they thought he was going to be back on a practice field, and that hurts. But at the same time, they're still managing to win games.
Yeah,
their defense has played a lot better. Tannehill has played well. He's not putting up super numbers. He's not putting up Pat Mahomes against the Raiders numbers, but he's doing enough to win, which is all they need him to do with that defense. And I don't think that stops this week. I think Tennessee is going to end up, on a 7-game streak going into next week, and they take out the Texans and handle them relatively easily. I'm going to say 34-14.
Yeah,
Titans.
I don't think they don't have Henry, right? I don't think Henry's back for this game. I think he might be done for the year, right?
The latest reports are that they are optimistic that
for the playoffs,
Derrick Henry could return in January. So
if they
if they maintain the top spot, once they come off bye, they might have Derrick Henry.
Okay. Let's go with 23-3. I know that sounds I feel like I just did that. Yeah, I did, but
you did actually. Yeah. That's back-to-back games now.
27-3.
Okay.
Change it up.
He's changing it up, folks. 27-3. Wait, gotcha.
Shitty teams.
Now, Nikki, is that your final answer? No.
Yes. No lifelines.
Do you need to phone a friend real quick? Are we good?
My final answer. 27-3.
Right. So we're gonna move on to another division game that's got some better teams in it. Both teams have, playoff stakes on the line. Packers looking to maintain their number 1 spot. going up against the 4-5 Vikings, coming off a win against San Diego, Los Angeles, the Chargers, looking to get back into the thick of the playoffs themselves in Minnesota. So I'm going to let Nikki kick this one off. Do you think the Vikings have enough to take out the Packers on their home field, or is this just another one of those Aaron Rodgers rolls in, wipes them out, rolls out?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to, roll in and wipe them out. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. But at the end of the day, I think the Packers have the team. I really do. I really think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. So, again, a lot of, good wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. It's going to be a fun matchup. Yeah. It's going to be really entertaining because who doesn't like the deep ball, the deep threat. So I got the Packers here, but it's going to be a competitive game. I just don't know if the Vikings have a chance.
Yeah, I see it that way myself. I think it's going to be a competitive game, and I say that because it definitely feels like the Vikings have been in a lot of competitive games.
Yeah, and
the only problem there is most of those competitive games, they lost.
Yep.
Like that last week's game was decided by 7 points, and they got a win. That might have been the first all season. Every other game by a touchdown or less, they seem to have lost.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this one's going to be within a touchdown. I think the Packers might beat them by a couple. I'm not even going to.
A couple? Okay.
I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. It could be, I don't know, a couple touchdowns. I'm going to say Packers get the win, and they win 30-20.
Okay.
What do you got for this one, Nikki?
23-3. No, I'm kidding.
Again? God damn, man. I'll just write all the scores down ahead of time.
Yeah. 21-16. I think it's going to be competitive, but at the end of the game, I think Rodgers is going to step up and show why he's, the head of the table.
Yeah. And it doesn't bode well that, Devontae Adams has absolutely destroyed the Viking defense in their last two matchups. I mean, in the last two last year, he had 5 touchdown catches.
It's incredible. I think he's the best in the league.
He might be, considering the fact that they don't have a whole lot on that Packers offense, so you can roll coverage to him and he can still do this to you.
Yeah, double coverage and everything. I mean,
it might make him the best in the league. That's that might be something we have to do as a special, best in position and just go through them.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody in this game would have those best in position lists, because what we've got next is the 3-7 Miami Dolphins, who are actually on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah.
Taking on the 2-7 New York Jets at home, with Joe Flacco making his first start of the season.
Yeah.
So much for those Jets quarterbacks, man. It was interesting for a couple weeks, but apparently it's over now.
Isn't that crazy how things happen like that,
You get 2 guys that throw for 300 yards in different weeks, and then you start another quarterback.
Yeah. He's a veteran that won the Super Bowl, but I think he's not, he's obviously not in his prime.
But
I don't know. Go ahead. My bad.
You know what bothers me the most? Because I am not a Jets fan, but you know what bothers me the most about the Jets?
Tell me.
They brought in Robert Saleh as their head coach.
Yeah.
Robert Saleh is known for his defense.
Yeah.
That Jets team is one of the worst defenses in the league, if not the very worst.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know they weren't very good last year. They retooled on top of that. They did whatever. But you would think this guy would be able to put together a game plan on defense that would be their calling card if he's a defensive guy. It reminds me of like a bunch of years back where, the 49ers hired Mike Singletary, and he was trying to revive the franchise, and they had the worst defense in the league, and they fired Mike Singletary pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
And it just feels that way. And it's hard to knock the offense, but when you bring in a defensive guy, you expect them to have a decent enough defense. Like, bring in Nick Sirianni and knowing the offenses he came from and as run heavy as they were, you expected that in Philly. It didn't happen until the last few weeks, but you wanted it the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think Jets fans, if I'm not mistaken, probably looked at this guy coming in and thought, well, at least our defense will be good.
Yeah.
And it isn't.
No. No.
So for that and for so many more reasons, it seems like Miami has kind of found their mojo too the last couple of weeks.
Defense
like whether
looks
it be
good too.
Yeah, defense has picked it up. Whether it was Jacoby Brissett or even Tua in that Ravens game last week, they both stepped up. I think they've got more than enough to take the Jets. So I'm gonna give this one to Miami, and I'm gonna go. Let's say Dolphins win 38-17.
Damn. Yeah. I honestly think obviously we hear it all the time, defense wins championships. I don't think either of these teams are going to be winning championships anytime soon, but for this game, I think the defense is going to win it for them. So I got the Dolphins 22-10. It's not going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be a defensive battle.
He picked a different score, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Miami's won 6 of the last 7 against the Jets, and it's going to be 7 of 8. That's pretty easy to call. Now, this next one's going to be a little tougher for me. I don't know if I might have gave it away, but I'm still racking my brain. The New Orleans Saints come into Philadelphia this week.
Yep.
To take on an Eagles team that's won 2 of their last 3. New Orleans has lost 2 of their last 3.
Yeah.
The last time they came into Philly was Jalen Hurts' first start, and how'd that work out for him?
Yep.
But I guess we won't be seeing Taysom Hill again this week. We'll be seeing Trevor Siemian.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I like the way this Eagles team has played the last few weeks. I know you said to me, well, it's the Lions. You can't put too much into that. But then they came back and had a great game against the Chargers and could have won that game had maybe they made a couple extra plays on defense or just knocked a few of Justin Herbert's passes down. I mean, the guy ended up with like 4 incompletions the whole game and then came back from that and just beat the Broncos down.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to get on Teddy Bridgewater for not really making that effort to tackle Darius Slay. And my question to you is, do you think a guy like Tom Brady or a guy like, oh, hey, Ivan, what's happening, homie?
Yo.
Stop right there. Shout out to Ivan, the Professor X of podcasting and the man that introduced us when we joined the league. That's great to see you, homie.
Yo.
But, do you think a guy like Brady or a guy like Aaron Rodgers or somebody making big money and basically the hope for your franchise to go to the playoffs, do you think they're going to dive in front of Darius Slay? No. So I'm not knocking Teddy Bridgewater for that. You can just stop that shit right now.
Seriously.
That man made a conscientious choice to stay.
To do it. Yeah.
Because what are they going to do if he dives and he gets hurt?
Yeah.
It's like, there goes your season. So I can't knock him for that. But it definitely changed the game, at least last week.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Alvin Kamara is going to be playing in this game. We haven't gotten
practice.
He didn't practice. It's still, Sunday's a couple of days away, so that could change.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert is still kind of on the fence in concussion protocol, so we're not sure about that. We're not sure about Miles Sanders, but all things being even.
Yeah.
Between the Eagles' newfound run game and the lack of receivers on the New Orleans Saints. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They've got a couple of guys who are trying to step up, but their lack of receivers is glaring. And if you don't have Alvin Kamara either, I don't know if you've got enough to stop the Eagles at home. So I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. I didn't pick them last week. I felt bad. I'm hoping that if I pick them, it won't jinx them.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think I need to repeat anything that you said. I feel like that's right on. And even earlier when you discussed the running backs for the Eagles, I think that is the key to victory here. Saints are just not the team they were last year. They're not the team they were in the beginning of the year because they looked good too. They really did.
And that defense is still
injuries happens.
That defense is still pretty good, but if you can't move the ball, you're leaving them out there on an island, and they get worn down. And especially with a run game like the Eagles, that doesn't bode well either.
Yeah.
And you know what? How the hell did Jordan Howard stay on and off a practice squad all season? Like, have you seen this guy just barreling through defenses and putting up nice numbers?
And he never lost a step.
No, he really didn't. I mean, he had some shitty times in Miami, but I was amazed we even let him go. He had a decent season for us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's back. As I said, I do think the Eagles will win, and I mean, I'll give the Saints some credit because they have a solid enough defense. I say Eagles win. I'll say 20-14.
Damn you! I got 2017.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah. Keep it close.
Great minds, bro. Great minds.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but
now the next matchup we head into is
Go Birds.
Oh, yeah. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's for damn sure. Either way, Bird Gang for life. That's a fact. But the next game we're running into is interesting on some levels. I mean, you have the Washington football team going into Carolina to take on the Panthers.
Yeah.
Who are trying to get Cam Newton ready to start this week.
Yeah.
And Ron Rivera has been asked flat out, like, since you coached the guy for so long, you have a defensive game plan to stop Cam Newton. And he said, I've always had it in my back pocket. I've never had to use it. So I guess we're going to see that. Yeah. But we're going to see that from a defense that outside of the Tampa game, which what the fuck happened there, has been beaten and battered and assaulted all year long. And now that defense is going to be without Chase Young for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Blew his ACL out against the Bucks, and he's going for this year and maybe even a good chunk of next.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a blow.
Yeah.
And I don't have the most faith in the world in Cam Newton. I mean, obviously the Patriots didn't need him, but when you look at Carolina's depth chart at quarterback, he's the best thing you have, including Darnold.
Yeah.
At me all you want. He's the best thing they have. I was never a believer that Sam Darnold was a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, from when he got drafted until when he got traded, I was like, good luck with that, because this motherfucker ain't got it. So,
yeah.
So, is Ron Rivera's game plan enough to stop Cam Newton, or is Carolina just too good for this Washington football team?
Well, I said it earlier with the Lions, like, it's going to be tough to rally after a tie. And I believe if you win a close game, like the team did against the Patriots, against Tampa Bay,
I still can't believe that happened.
Yeah, it's going to help the team regardless. But I think the Panthers have a lot of weapons, I think they have more weapons, than I want to say the R word. I know.
Don't say it.
Yeah. The Washington football team. So I got the Panthers here just because I think McCaffrey, after a couple weeks, he's getting back into the groove. I think Cam Newton has injected some life into the Panthers. So I got the Panthers here. They beat God damn it. They beat Tampa Bay by 1 point. That is what it is.
They beat Tampa by like 10.
Last week?
Yeah.
Oh,
they didn't even give Tampa the ball back in the fourth quarter. They had like a 19-play drive that took over 10 minutes off the clock, and then they scored a touchdown.
Shit, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm off this week.
I don't know what Brady and the Bucs were thinking, but we're getting to that game. I'm just trying to bite my tongue.
Yeah.
So you think the Panthers are going to win, is what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to let you drop the score first this time.
I'm going to go 17-14 Panthers.
Okay.
What am I thinking? Who won by 1 point last week?
Oh, God. I have to go back and look at the scores, homie. I can't even.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
But it's like I said, Carolina, I thought all year they had a good defense.
Yeah.
They're on the verge of a great defense. They've got some playmakers. They can cover, they can rush the passer, they can stop the run. They're only so far this season, they are allowing 173 passing yards per game, which is fewest in the league. Now, I'm not sure if Stephon Gilmore will be playing this week. I'm not even sure if Cam Newton will be, but all signs point to yes. And if you've got to deal with Cam Newton and that rushing attack, and your offense, let's be honest, is based on Taylor Heineke and Scary Terry.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers don't allow jack shit through the air. You're going to get beat.
Yeah.
It may be close. It may be a blowout. It's just a matter of time. I'm going to go somewhere in between. I'm going to say Carolina will win this game 27-17.
Okay.
Like not close, but not a blowout.
Yeah.
All right. So from there, we go to a couple of teams that I guess you could say pulled some major upsets in back-to-back weeks. I mean, you had the 49ers coming off Monday Night Football and their win against the Rams, going to Jacksonville to take on a Jags team that beat the Bills 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Jags is a bigger upset, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's very close. And as close as that was, I don't know if this one will be. The 49ers are one of those teams. They're up and down.
Yeah.
They again got beaten on by the Cardinals backups, then blew out the Rams. I don't know what the fuck that team is. No wonder they're 5-5 right now. I guess they are what I said they are.
Yeah. We let them off the hook.
Yeah, but I don't think the Niners let the Jags off the hook this week. I just don't see it. I mean, Deebo Samuel is amazing. He's probably got the second most receiving yards in the league, and nobody even noticed. Because everybody's worried about who they're playing at quarterback, and nobody and whether or not George Kittle is going to miss another game. Meanwhile, Deebo's killing it. But he's also one of those Swiss Army kind of guys. You can use him in the run game. You can get him deep. You can get him underneath. You can do whatever. He'll do it all.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's offense is just lacking. They're just lacking. I mean, Trevor Lawrence struggled against the Colts, and they almost won that game. If he struggles against the 49ers, they're going to blow him away.
Yeah.
I'm taking San Francisco in this one, and I'm going to say it's barely even close. I'm going to say 30-10.
Yeah, I got 41-14.
Wow, the first 40 burger prediction of the week.
Yeah, I don't know.
We love you, Con family. Thank you for Full Gear, but your Jags, they don't stand a chance.
It's just plain and simple. The Jags are not a good team. That's it. I mean, you can't say, well, their offense needs to do better, their defense needs to do better, or they don't have the tools.
No, I mean, they got a couple of bright spots here and there. Like James Robinson is a tremendous back when he's healthy.
Yeah.
You've seen some upside in Trevor Lawrence. They've got a couple of guys on defense that you could build around, but overall, they're just not ready for prime time, homie.
No, and you know what? We're looking for positive things with the Jaguars. They're just not a good team, and it's okay. There's a lot of shitty teams.
I mean, I'm trying to say positive things about the Lions, who are worse than the Jaguars. So I'm looking for the good in all of them. It's give me some good. You got to give it to me, and then I'll come on one of these shows and I will preach your gospel. But until then, I'm working with what I got, folks. If you're a Jags fan, I'm sorry. They're getting blown out. It's happened already this year. You should be used to it.
Seriously.
So then now we get into some of the 4:00 games, and the first one on the rundown, 2 5-4 teams coming off 2 pretty bad losses. The Cincinnati Bengals, who had a bye last week at 5-4, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders at 5-4, losers of 2 straight in Vegas. And I'm gonna kick it to Nikki first. Do you think the Raiders end up bouncing back this week, or do you think Cincinnati gets back on track? Because one of these teams has got to win. At least in theory. We might get another Steelers-Lions game. I'm not calling for a tie. I don't care what happens.
Yeah, you know what? For some reason, I really do think Las Vegas has a decent team. As much as, like we discussed off-field, all that with Gruden and the wide receivers and just everybody. I mean, they're not – the offense, the front office is just not what you need when it comes to a winning football team. but I think the Raiders have a chance here, and I'm going to say they win. Because I like their running game. I like Drake. I like Jacobs. I like what they're doing there. And Carr is a let's not say a great quarterback, but he can win. He can win for you, So I got the Raiders here.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and I don't exactly disagree. It's more of a beg to differ. Because, Jacobs and Drake are very talented. Derek Carr has had his moments. Yeah. All of that is true. But they have been struggling heavily the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, struggled against the Giants, struggled against the Chiefs, who, outside of Jordan Love, have let everyone run up and down the field on them.
Yeah.
I don't see them bounce. I just don't see them bouncing back against Cincinnati. I think they had a bye week. They had a chance to kind of fine-tune some things, get guys like Jamar Chase kind of, okay, take a break. You've been killing it rookie season. You need to get some time down, get your rest, your rehab, get in here, get refocused. And again, I think if Cincinnati can stop these Joe Burrow turnovers, which the Raiders are not good at forcing, then they got a shot not only this week, but at making it into the playoff, making it into the playoffs overall. So this is the first game that we're actually going to be on opposite sides of, because I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals in this one. And we were close. I forgot to mention, we were close last week. I ended up getting back on my winning ways. I won 11-9. And overall, I have 60 points, and Nick has 54 so far. So it's still close. Still close.
Yeah. That Eagles win helped.
Yeah. And I wasn't even mad at that, but I'll tell you right now, I was like, I'm happy to be wrong. Congratulations, Nicky.
Yep.
So two teams in our next game that I don't really have a stake in, I guess, as Jerry's kids, the Cowgirls, go to Arrowhead Stadium to take on Andy Reid's new team, the Kansas City Chiefs, on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And I know people are, talking about the quarterback matchup or how great Dallas's defense looked last week, and I'm with all that. But, even at 7-2, what's been up and down for the Cowboys this year? That defense.
Yeah.
And Kansas City, not only have they won 2 straight, but their offensive line seems to be coming together.
Yeah.
Their defense seems to be playing a little better. Patrick Mahomes looked like himself last week.
Yeah.
And I liked that, because throughout the year, they've been talking about Patrick Mahomes, looking for the deep shot, not taking what the defense gives you.
Yeah.
Darrell Williams caught more passes against the Raiders than any other Chief. Tyreek Hill had a couple touchdowns, 100 yards. Jason Kelce did his thing. Darrell Williams had 11 catches for over 100 yards because the Raiders took away the deep ball. They played the 2 deep safeties most of the time. And so Patrick Mahomes just looked downfield and said, okay, it's not open. I'm going to drop it off. And Darrell Williams was making that, making some great gains out of it, moving the chains, keeping them on the field. And then once the Raiders came up, then it was time to go over the top.
Yeah.
And if he continues that formula, this is kind of like the Eagles with the run game. If he continues that formula, the Kansas City Chiefs might be unstoppable. So I might get burned for this. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going with the Chiefs. I know Andy Reid's their coach. I don't have a whole lot of love left for Andy anymore, guys. I got to be real with you. This is not a homer pick.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Here's Ivan Skip Bayless voice. How about them Cowboys? But it's not happening, my homeboy.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I'm going to disappoint, and I'm going to disappoint, Philadelphia. I got the Cowboys here. I don't know if the Chiefs have what it takes. Okay. And it just seems like they're not a complete team. And we all see it, we see it. They're not the team from last year or the year before, and I just feel like the Cowboys have momentum here. I hate doing it. I really do, but I think the Cowboys are going to win here.
I don't think this has ever happened before, Nikki. We have now disagreed on back-to-back games.
Yeah. There you go.
That's what happens when we go live, man. All of a sudden, shit goes sideways. Cats and dogs are living together. It's mass fucking hysteria. I don't know what to tell you. And of course, I love Adam. I love Adam. I know he's saying go Cowboys, but this is also a Sixers fan, so we get along. I don't know how you can root for the Cowboys and the Sixers, but I love you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as I hate doing it, I think the Cowboys are going to squeeze.
Oh, I was mad at you, homie. I was mad. Like, wait, what? Nick? Really, bro? Really? The Cowboys? Really?
Yeah.
And Adam says, you know how I can be a Sixers fan and a Cowboys fan? I just can. I like that swag.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I like the comments. Keep them coming, man. It's so good to have people commenting in the live chat. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I just think the Cowboys, they're not going to win 28-3. I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I think the Cowboys find a way to win, and I think the Chiefs find a way to lose. And we've seen that before with Andy Reid. He finds ways to lose.
We have.
So I don't know. I want it to.
I'm not saying this is a blowout either. It's going to be a competitive game, but I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out. I'm glad I don't have to give a score because I don't know if I could give one.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Chiefs are going to pull it out. They've kind of gotten hot. They're starting to, play a little better on both sides of the ball. And if you keep Mahomes going like he was against the Raiders and he keeps that formula, that's a pretty good winning formula right there.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. But I agree on one point, though. They do have their chemistry going. But come on, they've been playing mad teams. That's true. And, Adam's saying Cowboys 27-24. That's right. Drop them scores in the live chat.
Yes, sir.
I know he's saying Cowboys because he's a fan. But
yeah.
Please drop them scores. We'll be happy to put them up. We'll be happy to get them in. We still got a couple of games to go to. Like for instance, the last 4:00 game, another division game as the 8-2 Cardinals go to Seattle to take on the struggling, what are they, 3-6 now, Seahawks?
Yeah.
And
3-6, yep.
Again, it's looking like Kyler Murray's going to be a game time decision, but this is more, this is closer to the verge of playing than he was last week. DeAndre Hopkins could return.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is back. Chris Carson has not been cleared from the neck injury yet, so doubtful for him. I know it's in Seattle.
Yeah.
I know Russell Wilson's back. And this game is tough to pick because I don't know if Kyler Murray is playing or not.
Yeah, it is. It's tough.
Because with Kyler Murray, the Cardinals have scored 30 or more points in every road game this season.
It's crazy.
If they do that in Seattle, it's done. I don't think that offense, the way it is right now, as one-dimensional as it's been, can put up 30 points, Russell Wilson or not.
Yeah.
So if they do that, it's done. But then if Kyler Murray doesn't play and Colt McCoy does, we kind of know what's going to happen there. But this is why I wish I went live on Sundays. At least I have it. But even then, you're not going to get the injury report for these games till the middle of the fucking afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, let's say all things being equal, Kyler plays all that. I'm going to take the Cardinals in a close game.
Yeah, I'm going to as well. But it's just funny if you think about the Seahawks. Like, okay, Wilson's back. Carson may not be, playing this week or even this year. But they still have the tools, and it just seems like they can't win, It's just odd. I've never seen something like this before where you have Metcalf, you have, playmakers, and for some reason they find ways, again, I'm going to bring it up again, to lose the game.
Yeah, because, if you look at the end of last year when they got rid of their offensive coordinator and they were supposed to make all these moves, they got rid of them because they were one-dimensional. Their offensive line wasn't very good. And then on the other side, their defense wasn't very good. You look at the team this year, after everybody they got rid of and drafted and did whatever with, their offensive line isn't very good. Their defense is one of the bottom 5 in the league. They can't run the ball. Russell Wilson and while he was in there, Geno Smith are getting killed.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the end of last season. They started out so hot, and then all of a sudden they couldn't block anyone. They couldn't stop anyone. They couldn't run the ball, and they just fell right off. after some injuries and their defense not looking so great and their line, it just went back to the same old story from last year.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to imagine the Seahawks being able to get into a shootout with Kyler Murray and win.
Yeah.
Their best chances in this game is if Colt McCoy plays.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I agree.
And even he got hurt last week. So if they don't have Kyler Murray, they're going with that third string kid whose name, again, I'm sorry, I can't remember. I think it was something Streber. I can't quite remember.
Yeah,
but
he's just the third stringer.
At that point, the Seahawks might win if they got the third stringer in from jump. But if Kyler's playing, I don't think they stand a chance. I mean,
do we know like percentage wise if he's playing? Like,
I have no clue. They 60? Just gave. The last thing I saw was the same thing I saw last week, where he's a game time decision, and the coaching staff thinks he's coming along nicely. They said the same thing last week. And then he didn't play. And I'm guessing he didn't play because they saw the 49er game and thought, oh, shit, we got this.
Yeah.
It worked that way, though, especially once Colt McCoy got hurt. Yeah. But they were getting blown out by then anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
But if Kyler's back and everything else, I'm going to stick to that because just for time's sake, because I could sit here and go on and give you different scores and all this. I'm not going to.
You could.
I'm just going to say, if Kyler plays, and if not, my whole theory is shot. But if Kyler plays, Arizona wins, and they're going to win 31-20.
Yeah. Yep. You don't have to give me a score. I got the Seahawks here.
Oh, you're taking the Seahawks in this one, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
I think they're going to rally. I think they're going to win. I don't think Murray's going to play. So, I mean, if he does, I still think it's going to be competitive, but I'm taking the Seahawks.
Oh, let's see. I haven't said about the NFC West. Our division is the toughest out of the NFC for a fact, and I need Arizona to win to keep Seattle down and for us to win against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
We need to at least be in the hunt for the wild card. Yeah. I mean, you got at the moment, Ivan, the 49ers are. It's just as up and down as they've been. If they don't get consistent in a hurry, that's going to end in a hurry.
Yeah, that is true.
But, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pulling for the Niners. I don't think Seattle's got much of a chance, and you could end up with 3 teams from this division in the playoffs because it probably is the best in the NFC. I mean, you might argue the NFC South just because of, but their records are worse when you look at them top to bottom. So I'll give you the West for that one. You're my homie. You got me in the league. You introduced me to Nick. I'll give it to you. Why not?
There you go.
All right, so we get to the Sunday night game where you have the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mason Rudolph for the second straight week coming off a tie
that's a fact.
Against the Lions. As far as I know, as of before we got on, they said, Ben Roethlisberger didn't practice and that Mason Rudolph would be the starter again against the Chargers. Now, again, that could change too. But as far as I know, Mason Rudolph, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are going into Los Angeles SoFi Stadium to take on the Chargers, who, obviously came up short against the Vikings last week. The good news again is somebody's got to win, technically. Somebody's got to win this game. If Pittsburgh comes up with back-to-back ties, they might as well just go home. That's NFL history you don't want.
And it just showed last week, too, that, like, the Steelers can't win games. I mean, they tried. You discussed it earlier. It was back and forth, back and forth. It was an entertaining game, but it wasn't a competitive game. It was just like a game that, like, okay, I'll watch it. It's intriguing. So they just.
You know what the saddest part of that game was? As well as he was playing, it felt like they had more confidence in Mason Rudolph than they did in Najee Harris. Because Mason Rudolph threw like 50 times in that game.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you managed to tie when Mason Rudolph is throwing 50 attempts up in one game against anyone. I don't care if it's the Lions or not, especially in a bad weather game and all that. You saw the Lions running the ball and having tremendous success to stay in it.
Yeah.
Najee Harris did have a great game.
Yeah.
But it felt like they had more confidence in Mason Rudolph. And my question was, like, watching the game, I was like, why?
Yeah.
You're missing your receivers. The weather's shitty. They're killing you with the ground game. You got a great rookie running back. Respond. You know what I'm saying? Be the Steelers. Run the ball and play defense. It's what helped them to this winning streak in the first place. But they just seem to forget it because Mason Rudolph is worth chucking it 50 times. I don't understand that game plan.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But
it doesn't make sense. And I just think the Chargers are still a good team, as much as, there might be growing pains for Herbert. I mean, come on. It's his second season. This is expected.
This is, you know what this looks like the beginning of Herbert's rookie year where, there were games where he would kind of read the field, hit the open receiver, make big plays here and there. And then there were games where he would get laser focused on Keenan Allen. Yeah. And I understand because Keenan Allen's a great receiver. He's one of those guys that not a lot of people talk about. But like as Julio Jones and Antonio Brown and those guys have fallen off, Keenan Allen has stayed consistent, like 100 catches every year, 10 touchdowns every year. I understand he's your number one, but it seems like once the offense begins to struggle, Herbert gets laser focused on Keenan Allen. And he forgets that, like, you got Mike Williams, you got a couple of tight ends, you got a pretty damn decent running back who can catch the ball as well.
Yeah.
And it bogs them down. And it happened in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, Allen must have got 15 targets. The next guy on the list was Mike Williams with 3.
Yeah. It's back and forth.
And you were in a close game, check down to a run, look for somebody else. It just seems like that's his fallback. I'm just going to go to Keenan Allen every time I get the ball in my hand. But teams see that start to happen, and then they just shut it down, and that's that. You're done.
Yeah.
And in the games that they've won convincingly. He's spreading it around to everybody.
Yeah, good point.
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Donald Parham has caught a bunch of touchdowns this year. I know I might be one of the few people that watched him play in the XFL.
Yeah.
I never thought he'd be catching multiple touchdowns from Justin Herbert, a year or two later.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things if, again, like the Steelers, where I don't get the game plan. I just don't.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Chargers have a better chance of righting the ship than the Steelers do.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree too. Like I said earlier, I just don't think the Steelers have it this year, and maybe they need to do some soul searching when Roethlisberger, when he ever retires, which I think it's going to happen soon. I don't think they have that quarterback. I don't think they have the quarterback that they need. Roethlisberger, he's on his way out, and I don't think Rudolph. And I don't think Rudolph is the answer. They have an amazing running back, Harris, dude. He's going to be there for years. Yeah. He is their stud. So they have to work around him. They have to, draft a quarterback that's going to be able to play with Harris. And it just seems like they don't have it. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. And I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm not. No. My dad was, God rest his soul. I'm not.
Yeah.
And when I saw them draft Najee Harris last year, I went, there's your rookie of the year.
Yeah, I was jealous.
That's it. That's him.
Yeah.
I wanted that guy. Fuck, there's your rookie of the year. Because, but I was also thinking in Steelers terms, like if you want to go back to, getting this run game that you've always been synonymous for, I don't care if it's Jerome Bettis, Le'Veon Bell, even James Conner. Here's your guy to do it. And they've done it to a point, but they still haven't committed to it. And Ivan brings up a great point. One of the problems is they never drafted a decent quarterback. They've never focused on it. They should have with Rudolph since the beginning, but they didn't, unfortunately. Yeah. So what happens after Ben leaves? Honestly, Ivan, I don't know. Yeah. You try to grab somebody in free agency or you try to resurrect Dwayne Haskins, who you signed in the offseason because maybe he's better than Mason Rudolph. But it doesn't look good for him. And even, oh shit, it's High Class. I can't believe High Class is even awake right now, let alone in the chat.
Bruce.
He's absolutely right, though. Like Big Ben should have retired 3 years ago. He's been talking about hanging it up every year. He took a hometown discount to come back this season, and he's been taking a beating.
Yeah, and it's time to go.
I'm telling you right now, I know the Steelers are in the playoff hunt. I think they're going to be one of the first teams to fall out.
Yeah. What they need to do is build around Harris, and they're not doing that. I mean, they just drafted him, so it's going to take some time, but still.
No, I mean, I'm sure next year, add to the offensive line. They'll build around Najee Harris. They'll try to find a, I don't want to make it sound bad, game manager, that sort of thing. But, I think he should have retired. I think Big Ben should have retired by now. I think as bad as the Chargers defense is when it comes to giving up rushing yards, Najee Harris could have a huge day, and it will all go for naught because you got Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
Seriously.
Point blank, plain. Like, the Chargers win this one. I don't think they blow them out, but I think it's going to be probably 24-14. Like, Mason Rudolph is not enough. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Steelers fans, if you're out there.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers 27-10. I don't see that. I don't see the Steelers playing a competitive football game here.
Okay, 27.
I just can't see it. As good, like you said, as good as Harris is, he can't carry the team.
No. I mean, he had a great game last week, and they managed to tie.
Yeah.
To tie the Lions. That's got to be a gut check moment for the Steelers. Yeah. I know they're not saying it, but when you walk off that field and you just tied a team that hasn't won a game all year.
Yeah. Well,
you got to be feeling a certain way, especially since let's be even more real, especially since they probably should have lost to the Bears the week before.
Yeah.
They won on some controversial calls.
Take it for what it's worth. Yeah.
So instead of being 5-3-1, you should probably be 4-4-1, and that would push you even further down and maybe out of the playoffs. So they're holding on by a thread at this point.
Yeah. And Dom, Adam has a great point here too.
Go right ahead, man. I was about to go there.
He has a great point too. Like, we think about every team but the Steelers when it comes to signing a free agent. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We know that Roethlisberger is going to retire. I do not think he's going to play next year. I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't think they would bring him back after this year. After these past years, these past 2 or 3 years. So I'm not going to say Wilson. I don't want to do that, but I feel like that is the next thing, because you can't draft a quarterback with the rookie. I mean, I guess you could, but I feel like they need a quarterback now, right? Like, is that this? Yeah. What do you think?
I can't see Ben playing past this season.
No.
And they obviously don't have much behind them. So they could try to draft a quarterback. They could try to trade up to get him. I don't know exactly what their, draft picks are or anything like that, because I don't follow the Steelers that close.
Yeah.
I know the Eagles might end up with 3 number 1s this year. Outside of that, I got nothing, folks. Sorry. But I think it is definitely time to find another quarterback in the offseason, because I don't see Ben coming back. They probably should have done it already. And even Brucey has said, the Steelers are very close to a rebuild and possibly a coaching change. I don't know if they get rid of Tomlin just yet, because he's been so successful with the Steelers. But if they can find a decent quarterback and put that offensive line together, they might be a playoff team next year, just looking at what they have, when healthy, because they still have, Juju, and they still got Deontay Johnson. They have a solid group of receivers. Najee Harris is a great back. Their defense is very talented, and most of those guys are locked up. So they could be a playoff team. They just need a quarterback that's, maybe this much above average, like this much above Roethlisberger, which is at this point average.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Sorry, Ben, you've been great for a great many years, but at this point, you're average at best, bro.
Yeah.
You got outplayed by Justin Fields in a Monday night game.
Yeah.
You're average.
Yep.
What is it since Bruce is in the chat, I'm going to dedicate this. What does MJF say? Ben Roethlisberger is mid.
Yeah, you just got to know when to walk away, and he can't do it.
I hear you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to walk away from something that you love so much, but come on. It's a business.
And eventually you got to know when to walk away. Or eventually you got to, you got to go to Ben and be like, look, we are not re-signing you. I don't care what discount you take, just go. Yeah. You want to go someplace else? The Jets are looking for a quarterback, homie. Have fun.
Yeah.
Ask Le'Veon Bell how that worked out for you.
Yeah.
That's, if he's clear to these charges and stuff, that's actually interesting. Possibly get Deshaun Watson in Pittsburgh. They would be
see that over the Eagles.
They be a playoff / Super Bowl contender from that minute. And I'm guessing he loved the mid comment because he just said, yes!
Yes.
Thank you, Brucey. Thank you. And we've got one game left on the rundown, folks. It is the Monday
night show game. This is going to be.
I know it's good. I know it sounds like a shit show, but the way they've been playing, you got to think upset alert too, because you got the Bucks who have lost 2 in a row to 2 teams who are mid at best. I don't even think Washington is, but
no.
Either way, they've lost 2 in a row, and they're going to be playing the New York Giants, who might get Saquon back.
Doesn't matter.
They've just been a rotating door of injuries all year long.
Yeah,
and they are coming off not only a bye but a win against the Raiders.
Yeah,
so it's not outside the realm of possibility that the Giants could pull this off.
Yeah.
But it would still be mind blowing. Is that fair enough to say at this point?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as much as the defense looks better and better each week with the Giants, because it does look like they're getting, it just seems like they're getting healthier, they're getting better, they're understanding, how to play the game. A lot of rookies, but I don't see how Tom Brady can lose this game. I just can't. I just don't see a living legend, the best quarterback losing back-to-back weeks.
I don't
to
see
NFC East teams, so no way.
I don't see it either. But then again, I didn't see him throwing 2 interceptions in back-to-back games.
Yeah,
like New Orleans, his turnovers cost him that game. That pick 6 was like, you're done. And then even with Washington, like they had managed to get it down to a 1-score game. Brady throws another pick.
Yeah,
Washington holds the ball for almost 11 minutes and scores, and that's your ball game. And so, it's amazing that this has happened so far. So for it to happen again, it's like I don't want to say it would tarnish Tom Brady's legacy, but
oh my God, no.
It would almost, it would kind of take out people saying like, oh, Brady's going to play till he's 50. That might turn into, oh, Brady needs to retire after this season. Like he might be the next Big Ben. If this keeps up.
It happens. It happens to every single player. It's going to happen to the best quarterback. It's going to happen.
Brucey will vouch for this because he's in here and he's even talking about Mac Jones and how he's going to light up the Falcons tonight. And we picked that too earlier, homie. So, fingers crossed. But it's just, I know it happens, but it's just like, You almost bought into Brady's hype where like he's this old and he's playing this well and he's this far above everybody else. And then all of a sudden he starts to come back down to earth.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh yeah, maybe you do need to hang it up, homie. I don't know.
Yeah. It's but like I said, it happens to everyone,
I find it hard to pick against him, and even Brucey is saying Brady will not lose this weekend. He's a fucking football god. That is spoken like a true New Englander at heart right there.
A wrestling god.
So I find it hard to pick against Brady in this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Bucks, and I'm gonna say Bucks win. Ooh.
Dude.
31-21. 31-21 Bucks win.
Yeah.
I'm good. Cut the music.
I got 21-17. I think it's gonna be a competitive game, but I got the Bucks here.
Okay. What do you got for a score?
20. I thought I said it. 21.
I might have missed it, homie.
21-17. My bad.
Nah, that's on me, man. The Irish coffee is kicking in. That's on me.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, back to the game real quick. Tom Brady did not look great. Yeah.
He's not JBL. But I agree. Mac's going to light him up. Okay. Yeah. I think we're all in the same boat.
And we get this. I mean, every season, Tom Brady starts slow. And it seems like every game he starts slow. He has to read the defense, and then he comes back. And it just seems like last week, he didn't have the chance to come back. And this week, there's no way they lose.
I hope, because if not, man, oh my God, if they lose 3 games in a row to the teams to New
That'll be the
Orleans,
story
Washington, and the New York Giants, man, people are gonna lose their fucking minds this week.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's ESPN, NFL, wherever, whenever. People are gonna lose their fucking minds.
Yeah. We're gonna say he should have retired last year, sort of like what Peyton did, win the Super Bowl and then go.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Even Bruce Arians said, as a team, we just made a lot of dumb plays, and hopefully they've gotten a chance to kind of correct that. Maybe Gronk plays this week. He didn't last week, and he's still kind of questionable. But
that's a great point too, because their defense, so many bad penalties, man, so many.
Man, and the sad thing is, most of that defense came back from last year, and they were so good.
Yeah, they're just
and this year they have been trash.
Yeah, they make really dumb decisions.
Like, the only reason people aren't really calling the Bucs defense trash is because most weeks Brady's throwing 4 touchdown passes a game, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but when he's throwing 2 interceptions a game, now all of a sudden the defense doesn't look so good.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But yeah, they better bounce back against the Giants, because obviously they've fallen down, a few spots in the playoff picture, and Brady did prove that he could win in a place like Green Bay in the playoffs, but do you really want him to have to do that again?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's about all we got. I think the last thing I want to throw in here, because it just popped up on my screen and I kind of tried not to get excited, but I'm watching the video of him get emotional. I want to congratulate Bryce Harper for being named NL MVP. When he first came to Philadelphia, he was voted the worst player in the National League by players. Not by media or by his fellow players. He was named the least valuable player on any team in the National League.
That's crazy.
This year, he's National League MVP. So congratulations. Come full circle. Maybe one of these days get my team back to glory. That would be dope. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but if the Phillies start winning, I'll be back in. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the bullpen and see where we can go from there.
Right. Work on that bullpen. Maybe get a starter who can keep an ERA below 6. That would be cool.
Yeah. Yep.
But I had to get that in there. You got anything else to add to this, Nikki?
No, man. No, not at all. Just exciting. It's exciting to be an Eagles fan, honestly. I know the record looks, doesn't look like the way we want it to look like. But I think with a rookie coach, we're going to keep saying this on and on and on again. It's a team that is building, and it's exciting to watch as much as it's, sad to watch at some moments. But it's good to watch in a competitive game. So I'm just stoked for the season. 17 games, we got a chance, dude. We really do.
Yeah.
As odd as that sounds.
Even if it's a team where most of the guys on the team, I'm old enough to be their dad, I'm still excited to watch. I'm like, go out there, Junior, make some plays, make things happen, make Daddy proud.
Come on.
Come on, goddammit, fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do want to thank everybody that showed up for the first live episode experience and kind of experiment on this. We have been talking about it here and there, and for lucky number 7, I just said, fuck it, let's do it right before the show. And I do thank Nick for, tagging along and showing up week in and week out. This is turning into a tri-state twosome where I thought we were going to get, a bevy of people, but I'm good with good rolling with South Jersey's finest. I'm fine with that. Speaking of South Jersey's finest, Nick, please tell the people where they can find you and your podcast. So if they don't know, they'll know now.
Yeah, so it's called the Universal Wrestling Podcast, and breaking news, we talk wrestling. I have a lot of guests on.
You too?
It's a lot of fun. You can catch us on Twitter at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. The most recent episode we actually dropped today, and since this is live, I can say it. We dropped it today with Ivan and World Elite Podcast. It was a lot of fun. We predicted Survivor Series, but this is the NFL. That's all I got. Dom, I appreciate it.
I've been wanting to work with the guys from World Elite, but Ivan is amazing. I love that man.
He is.
Top to bottom.
Professional at its finest.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Adam. He said, great insight and great show from what I saw. I'll probably listen to the full show when it comes out on Spotify. I will have that up as soon as possible, my friend.
Yeah.
And you can find us on Spotify and on Apple and on a bunch of stuff. You can easily just go to anchor.fm/Foxden and you'll see our episodes there. You'll see every platform. You can just pick your favorite. We're pretty much everywhere. I would go into the whole spiel for me or whatever, but you see it at the bottom of the screen and you've heard it before. Yeah. And I got to be honest, I'm very excited for tomorrow. And if Brucey's still watching, he's going to kill me if I don't say this. Tomorrow marks Top Rope Wrestling Talk's 2-year anniversary on the button. Ooh. November 19th, 2019 was our very first episode. And we will be back live tomorrow, not only to celebrate and give you some memories and everything else. We've got a very cool guy showing up, a very special guest, great independent wrestler in Limitless Pro and many other wrestling associations, the one and only Blade Bandit. We are this guy is cool. He's got a great gimmick. He's got some great stories. He's even a fan of something I'm big on, which is intergender wrestling. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but I'm a fan. So we're going to talk to him about that. We're going to cut it up. We're going to have some fun with him, maybe even play a few of our own little special games with him.
Nice,
and just really have a good time for all of you. Celebrate our anniversary live right here at TRWT of Foxden, John. It's going to be a great time. We hope to see you guys tomorrow. And as far as football is concerned, again, thank you all for watching. We hope your teams win this year or next week or this week. What am I doing? Whether it be fantasy, real life, or otherwise. And if they don't, at least we still got a few games left. And if not, hey, you got draft picks. Fuck it. Yeah. So until next week, for my man Nick, this is your boy, the Psycho, saying we will see you later.